Hi, Ruth. Greetings from Toronto. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? It's nice to meet you.
You too. And I'm sorry that we didn't get to meet up during the Toronto International Film Festival, where this film had its glorious debut. How thrilled were you to have it here?
So pleased. It felt incredibly special. 10 years, exactly 10 years previously, I'd been a member of the Talent Lab at Toronto, and it was by far the best talent lab I had ever been a part of. So I have very, fond. I had fond memories, and Toronto was what we were aiming for. So when we were, told that we would be premiering there, it was just the best gift. It really was.
Wonderful. Well, we're happy to have you. Just keep bringing us more, okay?
Thank you.
All right. This one, boy, it really hit home. I don't have daughters, but I do have sons. And I'm also a Jewish mother. So always on my mind is I got to feed my kids, got to
Yeah.
feed my kids. What was it about this script, Ruth? Because really it's a psychological horror. That's what it is, because the whole script. What kind of stood out for you and you thought, wow, this one I've got to do?
Well, it's a number of things, but I guess, there was a personal connection to it that was very familiar. The themes of being disbelieved was
Yeah.
something that was, huge for me. I'm a person with a mood disorder that at one point characterized itself as me not eating.
Mhm.
So I was very familiar with the kind of specific madness that comes with starvation and the effect it has on your family, and particularly my mother, whose job, in the very first instance is to keep me alive,
Yeah,
from
of
the moment
course.
you're born, kind of thing. So that stuff was really I could understand that, and I could understand it in a way that I couldn't understand the question of faith, because I'm not a religious person. So for me, it was like the idea of a character that believed in something that nobody else could see or necessarily understand was very fertile ground. And
Yeah.
then beyond that, the script had some standout scenes. I mean, we did develop the script together. It changed, and it moved from being an American set film to one set in England.
Mhm.
But ultimately, there's scenes in there like the pea scene at the dinner table, which is just a family dinner,
Right.
was like I just had to get to direct that scene. It's such a powerful scene, and it's so familiar. It's
Yeah.
just people eating dinner or not.
Oh God, for sure, 100%. And your casting, amazing. And I really want to focus in on Sienna and Jessica, because the bond and what they go through, it just felt so real. Did you know instinctively that these two ladies were going to be your stars in this film?
And well, yes and no. I mean, Sienna was the only cast member I was able to meet in person before the first lockdown. So I met her just literally on the cusp of the UK locking down. And when I met her, she just was Holly. She just became Holly. And it was really wonderful, because it meant that in the development of the script and the relocation, that we could be very specific, knowing what Sienna's vibe was, and kind of bringing some of that to the character.
Yeah.
Then all the other roles, including Jess, who plays Betsy, were cast online, which wasn't ideal. But particularly because it meant that I couldn't have those kind of chem reads where you put potentials together and see how it felt.
Right.
But Jess just stood out massively. I mean, she was the antithesis of what I thought I wanted, and she was very powerful presence. And that kind of transcended the screen. So yeah, but
Yeah.
I think also, Jess is, she's done a number of features since A Banquet, but at the time she's relatively inexperienced, hadn't
Right.
done a feature before. And so Sienna really took her under her wing, and I think she
Yeah.
got a lot from her. And Sienna was incredibly maternal with both her girls, and is a mother as well. But
Right.
and that was a hugely important factor for me in casting Holly as a mum, because I'm not, and I thought it was really important that one of us have that experience of looking after children.
100%. And yeah, and very physical for Jessica too. She really is get put through the ringer on this. So yeah, I just want to wrap. I wish I had so much more time with you, but at the end of the day, what would you like, audiences to walk away from this? Because it really, after you watch it, it so makes you think about so many things.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, I think, you know, it's not a happy film, and it's not a comfortable experience.
Yeah, no.
So it feels hard to try and sell it. You're like, do you want to be really uncomfortable for 2 hours? Well,
Yeah, well, that's the point, right?
The thing is that I think it's a really interesting illustration of a relationship between mother and daughter that is indicative of a truthful one, actually. Obviously, it goes to more extreme places, but it's very familiar to me as a daughter. And I, you know, people who have seen it, that have connected with it, are typically women and you know, mothers and daughters. But I think overall it just shows how difficult it is to be a mum, and how difficult it is to be a teenager in the world. So there's that. But I think overall what I can, you know, what I'm very, very proud of, among the things I'm proud of, are the performances. And I think there's just 4 exceptional performances from 4 exceptional actresses there.
Yeah, you've done a stand-up job. Really, really excellent film. Thank you for bringing it to Toronto. Again, we want to see you back, and best of luck with the release. Pleasure to talk to you today, Ruth. Thank you.
Oh, lovely to talk to you, Bonnie. Thank you very much.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.